So now you create hatred within the country, saying React is the problem. Okay. And then those who are being supported by foreigners to think they're going to crush React will push. And then let's say they do whatever to Dr. React. Then you create a permanent problem. Then we are at war for a long time. Hello, my brothers and sisters, wherever you are in the world. I want to say thank you if you're present and you're watching. Some of you probably are in school right now, or some of you are working in your office. I'm currently in Mexico, so I just want to share something. I'm waiting for a few of you guys to join on. Yeah, one or two people, and then I can start talking. So I want to talk about grand strategy. Have you heard the term grand strategy? What is grand strategy? Well, a grand strategy is when another country put out a strategy in place, identifying countries that are economically a threat to them. So that's what a grand strategy is all about. So each and every country has their own grand strategy. So when you identify a country that is economically a threat to you, that country is going to bypass you, it's going to make your economy weaker, they're going to grow, and you're going to buy resources from them, and the focus, and they could be powerful, which means they're going to make more money. Then you put a grand strategy to displace that country, a strategy to make sure that country is in chaos, so the country does not move forward. Right now, the question is, what countries are making us, that have made grand strategy for South Sudan, so we have a conflict that takes long term? So how do we create a grand strategy? A grand strategy is created by, when you identify the nation, you keep them divided. So when you keep them divided with an aim to make sure that country is at war with itself. So you make sure the children are divided from the parents are divided from their wives. Every department, there is hatred in that country. And so when that country are fighting each other, what happened? They will come for solution to you. The person who created the grand strategy to destabilize a country is the country where the leaders run for solution to. What is the plan? Why? Once you put them in conflict, then you have a different group of people who are called investors that support the grand strategies. So the country that has a grand strategy to destroy your country will have other countries backing them, which means when they destroy your country, what are they interested in? They're interested in gold, they're interested in diamond, they're interested in oil, they're interested in agricultural land, they're interested in your cows, they're interested in your wildlife. Let me give you, for example, South Sudan, the biggest migration of wildlife right now is in South Sudan. There's a place that is full of elephants, has lions, has antelopes. Think about the wildlife. We've been at war with each other. Do you know how many billions of dollars can be made out of tourism? So now another country look at it. Okay, this country, they could hit us with tourists, which means tourists are going to come in this country. They have wildlife. So this is going to threaten our wildlife. So maybe like $10 billion a year, even more than the money we make from the oil, could be made from the wildlife tourism. We have a rich culture in our country, and that rich culture could also put our country into more tourists coming to visit our country. Okay, let's talk about that. We have the Nile. The Nile in itself, there are fish. We have a type of fish that can bring billions of dollars if it is exported. The entire South Sudan can literally, South Sudan can fund so many countries if it's managed properly. Let me give you another advantage we have. We can literally feed the entire Africa with agriculture, food. So agriculture can feed the entire country and also has more to export. So now that's also a threat. So that's what you hit. South Sudan, we also have smart people. So which means if our universities become stable, we can advance in science and technology and in many other departments that a lot of people could invent. So what I'm asking now, do you think there are people out there who are planning our country to be at chaos? You know? Actually, do you actually think President Kiir is actually free? No. So there are people who sell the idea to President Kiir, hey, you should be the dictator. You should run the country. So they fund Kiir and push him to create a strategy, maybe selling him the idea, create a Dinkelized government. Put your brother to be in charge of this. Put your uncle to be in charge of this. We're going to empower you and you're going to create an empire. So you're going to reign for a long time. So Kiir will buy that idea. Will buy the idea to have ultimate power. But does that actually serve the interests of the country, or does it serve the interests of Kiir? So Kiir in itself is tricked into something that he thinks is good for him. But it's not. It's somebody else's idea. Let's give, for example, who's giving us the arms? So the arms, we're paying for it. Who's giving security in terms of defending the country and keeping Kiir in power? You got Uganda doing it. Okay. Our soldiers getting paid? No. Where are we getting our tomatoes? Where are we getting our oranges? Where are we getting our lemon? Where are we getting our bananas? Where are we getting our cement for infrastructure? Where are we getting the workforce that build our road? You think about it. Where are the children of South Sudan, the children of elite, going to school? They're going overseas. So now we spend our money. Our country think they are powerful. You boost with a nice car moving around, 4x4 or V8, being proud. But actually, are you taking your country forward? Now, the dollar come in and leave the country the same day it checked in. So if 1 billion comes in, it disappeared in the airport and goes elsewhere. It doesn't really benefit our people. So part of grand strategy is for the people of that country not to love themselves, but to buy everything from outside. Imagine, our people are not even interested in eating our mangoes. We import mangoes when there's so much mangoes in EA. So we've been completely brainwashed not to love each other. And then what do? So now you create hatred within the country, saying Riyak is the problem. Okay. And then those who are being supported by foreigners to think they're going to crush Riyak will push. And then let's say they do whatever to Dr. Riyak. Then you create a permanent problem. Then we are at war for a long time. One side thinks they'll win, the other one fight for justice. There will be never economic development. So most of the money will be spent outside the country. So what grand strategy is all about is about putting a plan in place to destabilize a country that is economically a threat to you. Now, I want to share a small story since you're listening. There was a time, this is called the duck babies, a period in the 1800s. They're called duck babies. In the 1800s, there was a big problem in Europe, in England, in those areas, whereby women get pregnant. After they give birth, the woman dies. So it became a whole thing. 70% of the women that were getting pregnant in the hospital were dying after they give birth. So now they don't know what to do. So they started hiring the top scientists. And during that time, the science and technology was rising. So in medical was big thing. So they hired the top best people to think through and find out what's the problem. So every time a woman gets pregnant, give birth and die, they take the body into the lab and try to find out what the problem is. So one scientist came and told them, guys, I know the problem that is killing all these women. They said, who are you to give us the problem? That he was not even hired, but he's just a simple scientist somewhere, and came and said, look, I have observed everything that is happening. So actually what the scientist did is, he went and got few people that he could advise and listen to what he's doing. And the number of people, women dying in his hospital dropped to like 80%. So instead of 70% of the women dying giving birth, that place of his, there was less death or almost death reported. Guess what was happening? For 30 years, the population in Europe was decreasing because women were dying. So they called them the duck babies. Because every time the woman gets pregnant, she has the nightmare. Is my kid the duck kid that is gonna kill me? So there was so much fear. Every time a woman gives birth, they get pregnant, they have to face the duck baby. If this is a duck baby. So the myth was going on, calling them the duck babies, thinking maybe they've been witched, or this child is so powerful that it killed the mother. So there was a lot of stories. All those kids that were given birth to by their parents, where their mom died and the kid alive. So these kids were believed to have special powers. So once they took time to research, when they listened to this man, they realized what was actually killing the women was the doctors. The doctors could not wash their hands after they do the operation and autopsy to check the death of what killed the person. They go to the next woman and try to help her give birth with the same hands that are not washed and sterilized. You know, that's when the sterilization was invented, where now every doctor, every needle, everything has to be sterilized before you go and touch a woman. So now, as they moved on, they discovered the problem was not witches. The problem was the doctors, the people in power, not listening to advice of those who discovered the problem. So they killed so many women for 30 years. So I want to look at our country right now. Who is the problem? Who is the problem that is killing our people, that we're blaming, that this could be this politician? Look, in our country right now, is it possible for any South Sudanese to put their party and run for election? In our country now, the police are not getting paid. If a Ugandan soldier is getting paid $200 a day, so $6,000 a month, our normal soldier don't get paid for a couple of months. Whose problem is that? Is that Dr. Machar that is the problem? Is that the government problem? Who's the problem? So the question is, I want to ask, who is the problem? Why are we at war with each other? Do you think we're at war because we are tribal? No, that's not true. Because you'll find the civilians, they love each other. They sell the idea outside and say this is a tribal war. But is it actually a tribal war or a tribal agenda imposed on us for people to stay in power? So the question goes back to you right now. Has someone put a plan in place for us to die? But in reality here, who is the problem? I want you to answer, who is the problem right now? Who is the problem? Are we the problem? Is the problem a specific person? Is Kir the problem? Is Dr. Machar the problem? Are South Sudan the problem? Or have we been tricked into something? Have you ever heard the term divide and rule? Our country is so wealthy. There's so much wealth in our country. If it's managed properly, if our leaders can only think about benefiting us, not falling into the tricks and the trap of the grand strategies. So that's what I want to drop with you. Drop a comment there, and I want you to speak your truth. If you want to curse me, that's what you feel, that's what in you, curse me. If you want to have to write something long, go for it. This is an open platform. I'm not going to judge you for speaking your mind, but this is a point where each one of us, if you are shallow or deep, when I'm opening a deep opposition, you need to go deep. Peace is you.